2025 royal wedding of Princess Leonor and Prince Christian shocks the world. The world is no stranger to royal weddings. From the grandeur of Westminster Abbey to the fairy tales played out in the palaces of Europe, we have grown accustomed to crowns, gowns, and processions that follow the traditions of centuries. But in 2025, something happened that not even the most seasoned royal watchers could have imagined. The wedding of Princess Leonor of Spain and Prince Christian of Denmark did not simply captivate, it shocked the world. Not because it was expected, but because it defied expectations in ways that left even the most loyal monarchists speechless. How did two young royals, heirs to their nation's thrones, manage to turn their union into one of the most talked about moments of the century? And why did this marriage carry an impact far greater than love alone? From the moment the wedding was announced, whispers raced across Europe. Princess Leonor, the eldest daughter of King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia, was already recognized as the poised, disciplined heir to Spain's crown. Prince Christian, son of Crown Prince Frederick and Crown Princess Mary of Denmark, had been watched since birth as the future king of his nation. Their paths had crossed at royal gatherings, state banquets, and family occasions. But until now, few believed their relationship had blossomed into something more profound. And yet, behind the formal smiles and carefully choreographed appearances, a love story had quietly grown, one that culminated in a wedding the world will never forget. The day itself unfolded with breathtaking splendor. The Spanish royal family arrived in Denmark with visible pride but also a sense of gravity. For King Felipe and Queen Letizia, this was not simply their daughter's marriage, it was the merging of two dynasties, the intertwining of Spain and Denmark in a way that history books would one day record. For Queen Margrethe and the Danish royal family, it was a celebration of continuity and legacy, her grandson stepping into a role that would shape the future of Scandinavia. And then came the moment the world had been waiting for. Princess Leonor, radiant in a gown that paid homage to Spanish tradition with subtle Danish influences, walked through the cathedral aisle, every step carrying the weight of her future reign. Prince Christian, standing at the altar, looked not like a boy stepping into duty but like a man fully aware of the enormity of the moment. When their eyes met, the crowd of dignitaries, monarchs, and global leaders leaned forward, sensing they were witnessing more than a wedding, they were witnessing a shift in Europe's royal landscape. Yet what shocked the world was not simply the pageantry. It was the emotion. Royal weddings often carry a sense of performance, polished and perfect, but here the human element broke through. Tears glistened in Queen Letizia's eyes as she watched her daughter vow to love and serve alongside her chosen partner. King Felipe, usually reserved, allowed himself a rare public smile of unrestrained pride. Crown Princess Mary whispered words of comfort to her son, as though reassuring him that love and duty could coexist. Even Queen Margrethe, the seasoned matriarch of Denmark, seemed visibly moved, her gaze heavy with the knowledge that this marriage was not just familial, it was historic. But behind the beauty, questions swirled. Could two heirs, each destined to sit on their own throne, truly balance love with responsibility? Would their union strengthen the bonds between Spain and Denmark, or would it create challenges as their reigns unfolded? Historians pointed to the great royal unions of the past, from alliances that shaped empires to marriages that fractured them. Was this wedding the beginning of a golden era of cooperation between the Iberian Peninsula and Scandinavia, or a gamble that might one day test the resilience of two monarchies? Fans and critics alike could not stop speculating. Some saw the union as a fairy tale come to life, proof that even under the strict protocols of royalty, true love could thrive. Others warned of complications, asking, when Leonor becomes Queen of Spain and Christian becomes King of Denmark, how will they reconcile their duties to different nations? Will their love story endure the weight of two crowns? Or will history repeat itself, reminding us that even the most dazzling weddings can conceal storm clouds ahead? The ceremony itself answered some of these questions without words. Their vows, spoken with sincerity, carried the promise not only of personal devotion but of a shared vision for their futures. Leonor pledged loyalty not just to Christian but to the idea of partnership, of walking beside him as an equal. Christian, in turn, promised to honor her role, to recognize the unique position she held as Spain's future queen. It was a balance that spoke volumes. This was not a union of subordination, but of equality. As the world watched, millions tuned in live, social media erupted with images and commentary, and headlines across continents screamed of the wedding that shocked the world. Why shocked? Because it revealed something deeper than crowns and traditions. It revealed vulnerability, humanity, and hope in two young royals who dared to believe in love while carrying the weight of nations. In the hours that followed, receptions glittered with celebration, dances blended Spanish passion with Danish grace, and speeches echoed with both joy and caution. King Felipe toasted his daughter with pride but urged her to remember that love must walk hand in hand with duty. Crown Prince Frederick raised his glass to his son, reminding him that kingship was never about power but about service. The guests applauded, but beneath the applause lingered the unspoken truth. The future of Europe's monarchies had just shifted, and no one could predict what would come next. For the fans, however, the verdict was clear. They saw Leonor and Christian not as figures trapped in tradition, but as symbols of modern royalty, a couple who dared to put love first, even as they bore the destiny of two nations. Their kiss, broadcast to billions, was not just the sealing of a marriage, but the beginning of a new chapter in royal history. And so, the 2025 royal wedding will forever be remembered not simply for its beauty, but for its shock, the shock of seeing two heirs unite in love, the shock of realizing history was being rewritten in real time, and the shock of understanding that the crown, for all its weight, cannot silence the human heart. For those who watched, for those who celebrated, and even for those who doubted, one truth has become inescapable: Princess Leonor and Prince Christian have changed the narrative of what it means to be royal. And as they step forward into their futures, the world waits, breathless, to see how their love story will shape the centuries to come.